In this video I'm going to have a look at one of these little Swann security cameras. I think this was one a friend gave me when he upgraded his system. But the big problem with them, besides having a fairly poor quality picture, in general, fairly low res, is that they actually don't focus up close. And I want to actually use this for some bats that are living in the roof of my shed. And I have had one up there, but that was getting a lot of interference on it. I know these cameras weren't in the best condition. And of course it has the problem of not focusing as well. I've got a colour camera that I can get to focus, but it doesn't work at all in the infrared light. I've got the other camera running just with its lights. And it's no good, and it doesn't have the black and white mode like a lot of colour cameras do. These ones actually shut down to black and white when the light gets low enough, which is the ideal thing. And somewhere I do have a good black and white camera, but I've got no idea where it is. So I might just see if I can get one of these going. I did pull one of these apart, and now I've completely forgotten how I did it. But I get a feeling the case may unscrew or something. I think we've got to get rid of this cover first. Oh, that did it. I thought they were meant to sort of slide off. And did this actually... Hey, it does unscrew. I think they're actually quite easy to get into, which is a bonus. That's what I wanted. Now the question is... It's got a big long lens sticking out. Do they have a lock? Yeah, they do have a locking screw, I think. Can I just actually adjust this thing for close-up working? Undo that screw a bit. Oh, now we're loose. So that's what I wanted. What does it say on here? 2010 11 25. I would actually thought it was a bit older than that, but it's a good 15 odd years old. And it was on all day, every day, so not the ideal thing. Well, what I found is it's best not to undo the screw much, because the lens starts flopping around a bit and it's a bit hard to work out where the focus is. And just point it at something. Don't adjust the screw while the power's on, because you'll probably short out the LEDs. But you just get it so it's a bit loose, and then I turned it clockwise a bit. And I've got it down to more like a sort of 20 to 30 centimetre range for the focal, which is pretty useless for a security camera, but absolutely perfect for what I want, because it's only in close range. So it shows you can actually adjust these things. And this one doesn't seem to have any interference problems. So hopefully it's a lot better than the one I've got there currently. Yeah, lens needs a good clean as well. And hopefully I can get some in-focus bats leaving their little hole in the roof. Because before all I got was a fairly blurry image. And with the colour camera, that's got a coating on the inside I can see as well, which is why I'm thinking I'll give this a clean while I can, because yeah, it's actually dirtier on the inside. Just putting a brown mark on there. God knows what builds up in these things over time. Yeah, it's quite a lot of dirt coming out of the inside. Yeah, okay, you can see a ring around the lens now. But at least it's waterproof enough just to use outside. It's under the eaves anyway. But if it does get a little bit of water on it, it should be right. I was just hoping these would actually be useful. For this exact purpose. Only reason I bothered to keep a couple of them. And like I said, the other one turned out to not be so good. I don't think I'll even bother putting the cover back on, but I guess that stops... Does it stop the round? It doesn't actually stop the round bit unscrewing. I thought it might have been for that. It does keep a bit of stuff off the join though. Yeah, I think you've got to kind of flex this thing. Oh no, there it is. Yeah, I think sometimes I've got to press them and flex them a little bit to get them to go on, and then it's going to suddenly go, no doubt, and try and take my hand with it. Ah, come on. It doesn't help that it's got grit and stuff in there over the years. I'm just worried it's going to come up and hit my thumbs here, but that is going back on. I think we'll just whack it back on. Oh, probably should have gone the other way around, come to think of it. Doesn't really matter, as long as it keeps the weather off. Just the slopey bit was on the front. Just check that still works. Yeah, it's all working, so that's going to be lower res than what I wanted, but I'll try that one out. At least it'll be something. Got to get these little fellas on film before they go back into hibernation for the winter. And last year I actually finally got the camera up there and the bats had actually disappeared altogether. I've now got some bigger ones moving, so I might try and catch them. I think there was 3 of them last time I checked, so if I can get some footage of those leaving will be kind of interesting. And maybe at some stage even try and just leave it recording overnight or whatever, so if I can catch them coming back at dawn would be interesting to see how they land and get back in their hole. Just a little hole in the cement board that they've got there where I cut it a bit wide. I had to modify things a bit, and just a piece of timber that holds the roofing iron on. So they sneak in there and live comfortably in the insulation and stuff, either in the wall or in the ceiling space. So it would be interesting to actually see them come back, since they sort of hang on with little hooks on their elbows. Basically the fold in the wing. So it'd be interesting to see if I can get some decent footage with this one, but it's certainly going to be better. The other one was well out of focus because it was, it looks like 20-30 centimetres away. But they do light up brilliantly at night, these ones. And they've got all the LEDs, so they go into monochrome mode, which is what you want at night. And infrared is monochrome anyway. And there is a swallow nest not far from where the bats live, which would be another thing I would like to. I think they're onto their second batch, so nesting the second time. They often do 2 or 3 batches between spring and the end of summer before they migrate out of the place. So they could be interesting to watch. I did get some poor quality footage of them before. Quite interesting, all the strange things they get up to. These wild creatures do some weird stuff. So we'll get that screwed back on. I've got to pull a piece of wood off that I screwed up there. Swap this for the other one that's there. And retrieve my colour one, which is just basically useless by the time it gets dark enough. It gives a beautiful picture in the daylight, and then as soon as the light level gets low enough, it doesn't have a black and white mode. And even with the lights off the other camera, I just left the old monochrome hooked to the power. It really doesn't do much at all. You can just make, you know, sort of shapes out and stuff and see things move, and that's about it. Whereas these light things up like daylight, but of course monochrome, but that's all you can really get at night time anyway. So if all goes well, I'll get some footage and edit into this video. So thanks for watching.